one of the things that fascinated Nostradamus was he had a 13-sign zodiac. We have a 12-sign zodiac in our world today. And this 13th sign was between Sagittarius and Scorpio. It's called Ophiuchus.
Ophiuchus is called the secret sign, and it's noteworthy that it is the 13th one, the unluckiest number according to numerology. Ophiuchus, a Greek term meaning serpent holder, is clearly depicted on the front of the church, some say, and also in the Lost Book. It is this constellation and its position in the sky that holds a critical clue about the last days.
Ophiuchus crosses the celestial equator just at the point where the center of the galaxy meets the celestial equator. Now, in Nostradamus' day, they had no idea that there was such a thing as a galaxy, much less that there was a center of the galaxy. But all of these end-of-the-world prophecies, all of these connections with Judgment Day and the Apocalypse and so forth, are all connected with a certain alignment. And that alignment is when the sun tends to fall into Ophiuchus, into the gap in between Scorpio and Sagittarius.
It is in this very gap, in the area between Scorpio and Sagittarius, known as the Dark Rift, that the center of the Milky Way galaxy is located. The great alignment will occur when the sun rises in perfect alignment with the center of the galaxy.
You know that Nostradamus knew that the occult symbol, the secret sign, was the center of the galaxy in the night sky. So he used that as his marker. It's like the hours on the clock. They're just telling you what time it is.
Nostradamus scholars believe that the 7 images embedded in the Lost Book carry the reader step by step through a terrifying premonition of coming events. They are to culminate in the final disclosure of exactly when the apocalypse will occur.
We know that Sagittarius is pointing his arrow right at the center of the galaxy, which is Ophiuchus, which is probably represented by the scroll that runs up the side. And what it's saying is that at the moment of the alignment of this great moment, the knowledge of the trees in the Garden of Eden will be revealed.
As the obscured meaning of the Lost Book's message is believed to come into sharper focus, a sense of urgency arises. A critical clue to the manuscript's embedded warning may be the 2 words visible on image 67, one male. Whether this refers to God or the one who tears down our institutions, our sense of safety and sanctity of life, remains to be seen.
It is interesting that it's written in English, meaning Nostradamus is sending this message through time to our timeline, knowing that the people of this timeline are going to read it. One male, some people might interpret as an Antichrist. There are many people who really, truly believe there's an Antichrist out there. They look for him. They wait for him. He is the one who is going to bring in the apocalypse. He is the one who's going to make our reality fall.
Interpreting the explosive content of the Lost Book is a descent into an unimaginable realm. The experts at the Studio Chrysostomy are ready to complete their study of the manuscript. Their next finding is startling.
This is the last page of the Codex, and it is a letter to the reader.
Interpret it.
Some believe that the manuscript's remaining 7 images alone show just cause for the book's suppression, that they expand on the mysterious one male text and spell out with alarming precision when and how mankind's worst nightmare may come true. Nostradamus researchers point to image 66, the first of the sequence. The sun is prominent, highlighting its importance in the dating of the coming earth-changing event. 67 indicates that the constellation of Ophiuchus will play a role.
The next image moves us a little bit further ahead of time. It shows the 8-rayed star, the 8-spoke wheel at the top with the banner. And it also shows the tree of life being impinged upon by some monster. In the sky, if you drew a line from the stinger of the scorpion to the tip of Sagittarius's arrow, the line would go directly through the center of the galaxy. The space between Scorpio and Sagittarius becomes very, very important. And in this image, with the addition of the paschal lamb, the lamb of Revelation, there's the notation that this represents the end of time. In this image, we see again the 8-spoked wheel at the top. I should perhaps explain why the 8-spoked wheel is so important. In the sky, there's a great cross that does not move, and it's formed by, from the center of the galaxy to the edge of the galaxy, and from the center point of our celestial equator to the southern point of the celestial equator. That's the divine cross. Down here on the ground, we have the mundane cross that is formed by the angles between equinox and solstice and so forth. So the 8-armed cross, the 8-rayed star, the 8-armed cross, the 8-wheeled spoke, represents the alignment in space and time of the divine cross above and the terrestrial mundane cross below. Now, curiously enough, this alignment only happens once every 13,000 years.
These crosses have not aligned since 11,000 BCE, roughly 13,000 years ago, meaning the phenomenon is now poised to occur again.
The next image in the series is the end-all and be-all of the whole sequence. It shows the exact time when the apocalypse is going to happen. At the top, we see our alignment of divine cross and terrestrial cross. Below that, we see 3 eclipses connected to an eclipse of the moon. If we look for 3 solar eclipses within a time period that is also bound by very significant lunar eclipses, we come up with a 20-year time period from 1992 to 2012.
Ancient and modern cultures alike have targeted the rapidly approaching year of 2012 as one of major planetary significance.
This is the only image we have from the Western tradition that pinpoints this time period this precisely. Other traditions around the planet have pointed to the same time period. Most notably the Mayan, who pinned the end of their calendar to the 2012 alignment of the sun in the center of the galaxy. It's like a universal awareness that when certain things align, the sun and this mysterious dark core of humanity, this is the point of crisis.
You must go all the way down before you decide to change, and we are rapidly descending down into the very, very, very bottom of the barrel. And soon we're going to run out of food. Soon we're going to run out of air. Soon we're going to run out of clean water. We're going to run out of oil. We're going to run out of ammunition. These things are all going to happen.
The next image in the series shows the same divine cross, terrestrial cross at the top, and below it appears to be a boat, an ark, and is sort of a casual reference back to God's promise that you won't use water this time, it'll be fire. So the idea of the bark or the boat here is what spiritual authority will save us.
I find that so many deluges and deep floods shall befall the world before the universal conflagration, that there shall be scarcely any land that is not covered by water. The rains in many countries shall be so slight, and so much fire, and so many meteorites shall fall from the sky, that nothing shall remain that is not consumed.
Image 72 is probably the warning of what is going to happen if we don't do this thing right. You notice, first off, the Wheel of Fortune at the top no longer has any spokes. It's empty. That means that time has ended. It is no longer turning. There's no axle in the center of time anymore.
Are the hands of our cosmic clock winding down? It is the question that lingers not only at the heart of these drawings, but in the subtext of each day's disturbing headlines.
People who never thought about any of this because they're busy with their jobs and their families and their responsibilities are all stopping, they're all pausing, and they're all saying something more is going on.